my background has become less than round. Wait, do. Oh, it's using the wrong audio. I knew it. I knew by how it was reacting that it was using the wrong freaking audio.
Oh, wait a minute. Oop, we're gonna make that visible. Okay, hello everyone. All right, hello everyone. We are doing book club today. Yay! Unfortunately, we missed it last week, so we are one section behind, but we are only one more book club away from finishing the book. Ooh, that means I get to pick another book. We have a list, but I want to pick one that's less educational and more fun for the next one. This one is the Hellenic Polytheism Household Worship is an easy read and a really good practical book. I want a fun one. But this time we're going to be going over page 99 through, I have it tabbed in my book. You guys can see my book. It's tabbed to death. Through 144. So we are going to be going over ceremony for inviting luck and the goodwill of the gods into your life. Okay. The Numenia ceremony, which is actually coming up. A ceremony for sacred days, Agathos Daemon. Ceremony for Heliodites, full moon ceremony, ceremony for I'm butchering these names. Trieka, no, I can't. Triekas, I don't know. A ceremony to assist with health. Raise your hand if you're a spoonie. This one right here, me. Oh, I should probably actually go check the chats. Hey Thunder, thank you for joining always. Thunder is a wonderful Twitch mod. Thunder does I think you do the Delphic Maxim of the week. Once a week in our Delphic Maxim channel in the server. So make sure to go say hi and thank you to Thunder. By the way, anyone in the Discord server, if you'd like, if you have a question or a thought, please feel free to put it in the chat. I do have it open, so I will be able to reply. Or if you like, put it in the YouTube or the Twitch chat. Right, so we're also going to be talking about the ceremony of name giving, wedding ceremonies, and that's where we're getting to today. Next time I'll be restarting officially next week. Oh, awesome! You'll be restarting the Delphic Maxims. All right, so make sure you guys check next week in the Delphic Maxim section. All right. Per our normal book clubs, I am not going to read out all of the parts of the ceremonies themselves. We're going to talk a little bit about the little bit of information. All right. You know what else I realized? Okay, the digital book doesn't have the picture here. Wait. You said good luck for the guy. Is that page 9? Wait a minute. Oh my gosh. I have it tabbed out wrong. You know, it was really funny actually. We did a good luck ceremony. Ooh. I pressed my thing. There we go. Okay, let me just go back to it in the book here. It was 99, right? I feel like I may have screwed it up, but that's okay. We'll just go from here. I actually did some of this ceremony, not too long ago. In fact, Zephyr, one of our mods, and the Secretary of HH actually came here, and we did a full moon ceremony, which was amazing. All right, so ceremony for inviting. I'm gonna try to do it this way so I can follow, because I have highlights in here, in my physical book. So, a common act of worship in the tradition of the Hellenic household is to petition the gods for their goodwill in any new endeavor. So, whether it be a project or a new house, things like that. So, or a major decision is going to be made. The desired result is naturally dependent on the ability to make wise decisions, as well as level-headed level of personal determination and skill that is directed towards the endeavor, right? Which is saying, actually, there's one of the maxims. Is it maxims or one of the? No, I think it's one of the stones, the alphabet stones, that literally says something similar, which is like, yo, don't depend on the gods to like solve your problem. you have to actually get up and do something. Like, so I love that they repeated that here. They're like, yeah, you can pray to the gods, but like make sure that you're also doing your mortal part, right? Um so however, it must be remembered that nothing is autonomous and disconnected from the whole. Yeah, I think thank you. It is a Delphic maxim. Extra points if you remember which one it is. Oh, I see writing is writing. Um all right here. So depending on the type of venture, right here, that is being embarked upon, it is important that the appropriate god or gods be invoked under whose sphere of influence the undertaking falls. The gods help those who help themselves. Absolutely writing. Yes. Sorry, that's me rubbing up against my plastic cabinet. I don't freaking know. I'm just gonna show off now. Hold on. If you're not watching the stream, you're missing out on the Hellenic Herald mug. I need to spend some time adding more products to our store. So, this is obviously like kind of something I would think would be like, I don't know, common sense is not quite the word for it, but it kind of seems like it would be obvious. That's the word, obvious. Look, if you are maybe yours personally is all about fitness, so if you're starting a new fitness journey, then perhaps you'd be praying depending on which direction you're going. For me, I am working on building muscles, so for me, I would pray to, if I was going to start like a routine or something, or like, I don't know, like a boot camp, I don't fucking know, I would probably pray to Ares or Athena. However, if I was going to do the archery classes at the local place, which there is, but they're at like 5 in the morning, so fuck that. I would maybe pray to Artemis, right? If I was deciding to start a garden, which I'm terrible at. Oh, cool. Yes. Yes, send it to me in DMs, Thunder. Thank you. Thunder is supplying me with music. I love it. So, if I was gonna start a new gardening venture, I would pray to Demeter or Persephone, depending on what it is. If I was, going to be starting my business, hey Hermes, what's up? Or if I was going to be working on an important aspect of my business, then I would be praying to Hermes. Again, it also depends, like, what it is very specifically. So, there we go. Just a couple of examples. If you have an example of one you've done, let me know. Wait here. All right. Stupid book. So, one thing I want to point out here. The attitude of the suppliant is of utmost importance. The correct understanding of mental orientation as well as virtuous perception, not virtual. Although if you're praying to Hermes, then maybe virtual. As a virtuous perception of the proceeding is to be sought. So, get yourself in the right frame of mind. Right? Oh, Thunder just gave her an example. That they pray to Athena every time they have an essay or exam. Yeah, that's a really good one. I should have done a prayer to Athena before I started studying. Maybe I wouldn't have been so fucking tired today. So, now, to gain optimum results from the ceremony, it is best be performed in the early days of the lunar month and preferably on the identified auspicious days, of which, if any, will apply. There are certain days you've prayed. Oh, this star says they've prayed to Nike before for sports events or practice. That's a really good one. It's even more hilarious if you pray to Nike while wearing Nikes and a pendant for Nike. It's so meta. Yes, come in. Thank you. My father's leaving. Now, I love, by the way, I think it's so funny how like so much of like Hellenic and like Greek religion is used, and the stories are used in like literally everywhere, and yet I tell people I'm a Hellenist, even in Los Angeles, and they're like, huh. And I'm like, bitch, you're wearing shoes that are named after our gods. I love that. I find that to be particularly hilarious. Um, but yeah, that's a great example. So, as I was saying, there are certain days that are associated, and you'll actually be able to find them at the calendar. Do we not have a calendar link? I hope we do. Let's see. I think we do. Did I do it? Do we have a calendar thing? Oh, we don't. Okay. Okay, so an automatic, like, what do you call it? Oh my god, I can't remember. Anyway, I'm doing it right now. Here's the site link. And I'm also gonna copy that out into the Discord. In case y'all don't know, HH has an amazing calendar that was worked on by Jill, our head librarian, as well as Larusa Mystic, who is one of our mods, or Alyssa, if you know her name, which you should, because it's a wonderful name. And she's one of our mods. And it's beautiful, and it is free to download for everybody forever on our website. If you would like to make a donation, you can. So, and if you can't, don't worry, it's free. And you'll note on the calendar, we've marked Numinia, and I'm literally looking at it right now. Hecate's Daphnon, and we've also marked a couple of the, I think one of the following days, maybe two. And you can also go look it up. Not only, it's like freaking 7 days of almost in succession of honoring different gods. I wonder if the book has it. There are specific days for here it is. The calendar. I think it's 81 holy days. Yeah, let me see. Because I want to get them in order. That'd be really. It's very relevant. Here it is. Yeah. And it's on page 84 if anyone wants to go look it up. The first, I can't read that. So the first day of the new month is Numenia or Numenia. I don't know how to say it right. Second is the honoring of Agathos Daemon, the heroes, and any like spirits. Agathos Daemon is your own like personal spirit kind of thing, kind of like a guardian angel, but like not. Just in case you have no reference. The third day is dedicated to Athena and the cat Charites. Carites. I don't know how to say that. Day 4 is dedicated to Hercules or Heracles, Hermes and Aphrodite. The fifth day is dedicated to Oracos Oath and the gods. I can't say this. It's on page 85. 6 is to Artemis. 7 is to Apollo. 8 is to Poseidon and Theseus. 9th is dedicated to Helios, the Muses, and Rhea. Like, we have a lot of days. All right, where are we? 100. Okay, so of course, as I mentioned, here is the ritual here. Beautiful picture of Psyche. And Numenia, the first day of the new month. So, it's the calendar is lunar based, and it goes from sunset to sunrise. And my brain died. So the first day of the new month is called Numenia. Now the last day of the month is Hecate's Daphnon. We're gonna cover that. So the first day is Numenia. It is sacred to and dedicated to Apollo. On this day, we honor all of the cherished gods, especially the household gods. Right? We're basically like out with the old, in with the new. This is a brand new month, blessing the house, cleansing it in a variety of ways, both with cleaning products and spiritually. And so it marks like the beginning. So it's a great day to pay attention to the ceremony, allowing sufficient time and care for the household, care of the household statues and devotional items. Basically, you're putting your best foot forward on the first day. As I said, common practices, cleansing, incense, etc. What else did I have highlighted in here? Okay, then we have the ritual here. I'm looking at my physical book, guys. Sorry. So, of course, we're gonna do a hymn to Hestia because it's the household and she's awesome. have more of the rituals, Zeus, Apollo, Hermes, and our lovely closing. Now, before we move on, I have a little linky link for y'all. Let me grab it. All right, so we have a couple rituals here for Numenia. That we've done. You are welcome to use these for your own use. They are available on our YouTube channel in case you didn't want to like actually like come up with your own, or if you don't like the one that's in the book, we have these as well.
I'm gonna have to go check.
Yeah, there we go. And I'm just gonna go ahead and drop the link in the chat here. Thank you for the follow, Virtual Luna Heart. Welcome. We're a Hellenic Polytheistic channel. We worship the Greek and Roman gods, and we're also a pagan community. So let us know your path in the chat if you care to. All right. So I wanted to provide that for everyone, just to make sure y'all had something to use. All right. So then I lost my page in my physical book. There we are. Ceremony for sacred days, Agathos Daemon. So this is as I said, the second day of the lunar month. So this is just a generic ceremony allowing like anyone to use it as like a model and template for any of the holy days. Agathos Daemon, I've never done much. Oh, you're coming from this current server. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the stream. It really does help because the way that, you know, algorithms work is like, oh, this person is interested in this, and this. Well, this other person is interested in like 4 of those things. So they'll probably also be interested in the other thing, right? If you like Epic the Musical, you probably like Greek mythology, which means you might like Greek history, which means you might also be into other groups that talk about Greek mythology, which means you might find Hellenic Herald, right? We connect the dots. Okay, so here we have our ceremony. I haven't done much with Agathos Daemon, so I really don't have any thoughts or opinions on that. If you've worked with your personal spirit or demon, like daemon, sorry, or demons, whatever, you're welcome to give comments in the chat. I have nothing I can provide on this. Okay, ceremony for Heliodites. So Heliodites is like sun worshippers. Like that's the thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna read it from here. Oops. The Heliodites is a modern ceremony performed on the first day of the week of the solar calendar, i.e., Sunday or Apollonia. The ceremony is which due honor is given to the sun, not only on a physical level, but mainly on like a mental level, right? So it's just good spiritual exercise to be unfailing, to be followed unfailingly each week on a particular day, which is a resting day for most people. Now, if your resting day is another day and that's the day that you can do it, it's fine. I'm just letting everyone know. So for me, Sunday is actually the end of the week. So it's not the beginning, but I if I was going to do this, I would do it on Sunday because I also have a portion of Sunday dedicated for a rest time, which means do whatever the fuck you want. Take a nap, do some video gaming, whatever. It's your rest day. So on my calendar, like actually my Google Calendar starts on Monday. So if that's not the case for you, then like, you know, pick a day. It's you don't have to do it on Sunday is what I'm saying. Ooh, I love that question. If we have time at the end, I will totally answer that. It's like one of my favorites. So the question from Star is, when did you find out that you were Hellenic and how? Which is a super fun story and Thunder knows it. Is there a certain amount of time before you were before you are considered Hellenic? Okay, first I'm just going to answer that second question. Is there a certain amount of time before you are considered Hellenic? Okay, so Hellenic, this is like a weird terminology thing. So, Hellenic technically means like Greek. So the way that we're saying it now, although I fuck it up too, is Hellenist. And there is no period of time. Period. Like if anyone says that you have to have been practicing for like a year or you have to do this and that, tell them to go shove it where the sun can't shine, where Helios don't see. I'm just gonna start using Hellenic disses. Just like diss people. It'll be great. I'll confuse so many people. But there's no graduation period. There's not like you can do a ceremony if you want when you're like, oh yeah, definitely, I'm definitely a Hellenist. Like absolutely, right, Blake? But yeah, there is none. Like the day I figured out that I was Hellenist, and so are you. You don't need to have been doing something for a certain important time. You don't have to have read all these books. You don't have to. I still haven't read the Iliad. I've listened to it like 4 times, but I just can't retain things like that auditorily. It's just too much, especially if it's something that I feel like I want to take notes on, and I haven't retained it at all. So technically, I haven't read the Iliad. I've been a Hellenist for like 8 years, I think. Shit, fuck. Yeah, that's right. Oh my god. That's true. So Thunder said that I've seen some people wait a little bit and like to kind of check if it's a consistent thing. That like, yes, this is definitely your path. And I will say a lot of people, which is also why we're a Hellenic polytheistic pagan server. We're all of those separately, independently of each other. There are a lot of people, I have seen people come into the Hellenic polytheistic faith and kind of because they are more familiar and also because like of a bunch of other reasons. I know one was that they found out that they weren't just Hellenist, they were just generally like pagan polytheist. But their faith primarily shifted to Norse and they only ended up working with like a few deities from like the Hellenic faith. So I'm gonna kick Discord. Why can't I hear you talking? No, why? Oh no. Wait, everyone else can hear me talking, right? You might want to just leave, close Discord down, and open it back up again. That usually fixes it. Oh, you did it 3 times. Oh, I can't help you. I got nothing. Sorry, Isabel. Go on the stream. Go on the Twitch or YouTube, silly. So I have seen people join the Hellenic faith and find that they're moving on either partially or fully. Why my throat suddenly was like, I have no idea. So I have seen that, and I would definitely partially attest that to the fact that our gods are so well known. Most people I've met in my life actually like they know the stories and they know some of the stories well enough to like follow along in like a conversation about it, right? We don't have to explain every little thing. But yeah, you can bop around to different faiths assuming they're not close practices, that you're not part of the culture. And just find what works for you. Shit, you may come across Apollo, right? And you might be worshiping Apollo for a while, but then realize you're more of a devotee to Helios. And then but you didn't know much about Helios before. Think of it like introducing somebody like, oh, I really want to introduce you to like my friend because I think like you guys might hit it off, but like you need to get to know me and trust me first so that when I recommend you to like go see my friend, you're gonna like have that reputation and that that trust, that relationship there, right? That I've seen that happen too. Or I've heard about that happen too. So I forgot you do streams. Bitch, I live here. Oh my god, I would 100%. I said it yesterday. I would 100% live in this server if I could. If I could just electronically live in the Discord server, I'd be so happy. I would be the happiest little clam. I always find the let's see. Everything starts on Monday. If I need to do close practice, instant concept. I don't know how to. Close practices are a concept that I am not familiar enough in to talk about knowledgeably without other people. I would call in some of the experts in the server. We have actual academic experts in the server. I'm just putting that out there. Because they're awesome. And the resource committee is awesome. We're always staffing for the resource committee. All right, so getting back to the notes. I do love answering questions. They're so much fun. Where are we? What page are we on? 113. I went too far. Oh, the full moon ceremony. Yay. Okay, so let me just see if there's anything else I wanted to note on here. Oh yeah, hold on. The sun is party to its order and harmony, and for this reason is often referred to as the king of the visible and sensible world, right? It has the power to cleanse, to uplift the mind, to provide life. These are all scientifically proven things, by the way. Health, personal development, and growth. It also teaches us internal harmony and a necessity for communion with divine beings and, I would say, the universe around us. Yeah, this to me is like the meat of this chapter. Like literally when I mean, and we know it, right? 2020, what was one of the things that people did to disinfect their phones? They'd put them under the sun for 10 minutes or like 5. There was a time. I don't know what it was. What do we do to disinfect our masks? We did that too. It has the power to uplift the mind. Yes, it does. Scientifically proven. Everyone needs to have at least 10 minutes of actual sunlight hitting their skin sans sunscreen, unless maybe you live in Arizona and it's like June 20th or something. Arizona gets way too hot. But you do need vitamin D. You do need it from the sun. It will actively help your mental health. I can definitely attest to this. And yes, it's really annoying. It has the ability to provide life and health and personal development and growth. Life. So much of the planet is made of, like, just the easy one, plants. Plants. Me and Zephyr literally laid down in the grass and I was like, all right, let's lay down and photosynthesize with the grass. Like, that, it was hilarious. I was just like, health and personal development. So many health classes, so many fitness classes, so many meditation classes, so many yoga classes are held outside. Why? Because reconnecting with nature in conjunction with a practice actively helps develop, positive neural pathways in the brain, and can very much help you with your mood and assisting in like meditation. I don't know why. I think meditating in nature and like go sitting in the grass and meditating is a lot easier than doing it inside. That's me. But yes, it also teaches us internal harmony and necessity for communion with the divine beings, and I would say with nature. So, don't you just hate when all this shit is like data backed? Actually, there's another section on here which they talk about that. I forgot. I just remembered it. So the sun, therefore, is a first-class guide for any spiritual path, and in our tradition, he is associated with the Apollonian path. Every day, by the way, or as often as I can, I would. Oh, good point, Thunder. Nothing would survive without the sun. I make a point of trying to go out at sunset, and I say good night to Helios and good evening to Selene. Sensory and emotional regulation. Thank you. Yes, there you go. And this is very unironically, and I'll say it out loud. It's freaking hilarious. There's actually a TikTok where I went to go do that, and it was a really cloudy day in California. And in California, we get blanket clouds. We don't get these lovely little puffy clouds. No, it's all gray all the time for like when we get like rainy days. And I went outside one day, and again, this is a literal TikTok. It's on our TikTok channel. And I recorded it like and did it again because I thought it was so funny. And I was like, "Hi, Celine. I hope you like Shine," because I could see where Celine was, right? But like, I literally turned around to go say hi to Helios, but I was like, "Hey, Helios. Well, I guess Zeus gave you the day off, so hope you had a good day off." Very unironically, very not being silly, very being serious, and yeah, I thought it was fucking hilarious. And here's a great picture. Trying to make sun tea. Ooh. Leave a cup of tea or pot with tea on sunlight for a bit and then drink it. Oh, that's nice. That's actually, I have a cast iron pot that would work really well. Full moon ceremony. Okay, this full moon ceremony. I'm so yawny. Was established by the Labrys community, which is who wrote the book. And is performed during the full moon. During ancient times, full moon ceremonies consisting of all-night festivities, basically the ancient version of clubs, or raves, were performed. Although they were most often exclusively for women. Hey, it's girls' night. Girls get in free, but they always get in free because it's a full moon ceremony. Oi. Me and my silliness. The community continues to honor this night by performing a general ceremony for the goddesses Selene, Artemis, and Hecate, or Hecate, however you want to say it. The ceremony is performed after sunset and under the light of the full moon. Like I said, it was really cool. We took no pictures. We did no videos. Zephyr and I just did a full moon ritual. I really got to remember to make content. Okay, so Thunder, like I got to the point where as soon as I realized I'm dysregulated, the first thing you try to regulate yourself is go outside. Yes. Yes. I usually go for like, when was the last time I ate? Have I drank anything recently? No, do that. Did I take my pills? Yes. Okay, well then I guess we're going outside and touching grass. Of course, here is the ceremony. We picked different things to say. We actually kind of winged it because we just weren't feeling these ones very much. And that's just to say, do what feels right in your practice. Okay. Oh, the ceremony of Triacos. I don't know what that means. Oh, wait, it has one thing. Not to be confused with bears. Okay, well, it doesn't say why the name is called that. So the last day of the month is dedicated to the dead and the goddess Hecate. In ancient times, the day was characterized by certain female rites known as the Hecatea Daphna? Daphna, I don't know. The dinners of Hecate. Potluck! During these ceremonies, special offerings of food were placed at crossroads where three roads meet for the dead. I don't know where the nearest three roads meet is near me. I'm going to have to think about that. But yes, anyway, during these ceremonies, special offerings for the food were placed at crossroads. So there is a thing like for me, sometimes I will eat the thing that I offer because I'm like, the gods took what they wanted. This is the material bullshit. I will dispose of the material bullshit in a way without waste. So, that's me. If it's not something that can be used, then I will throw it away. Or if it's something I left out for way too long. That being said, we do not eat the food for the dead. That is me. That's me. That's my thing. It's a purely me thing. It's not a rule. But I'm just saying it because I feel like in the past in a lot of stories it's not gone well for the mortals who did that. So like maybe we just shouldn't. Hell, it's not gone well for some of the deities. So just that. And they do say in here, like, don't eat it. It's never thrown away. It's usually like left outside for nature to take care of, or again, you can bury it. Um, for me, I know that I would probably offer like offer a food portion if I'm gonna leave it outside. I would have something like walnuts, honey, um, like things that would be something that the animals outside would eat, and that would be naturally disposed of. That wouldn't be a problem. So that's me. Um, and the ceremony usually begins before sunset with an appeal to Helios and Hecate, and that takes place prior to any preparations for the offerings. So, just another important thing. It's been a very common thing that for the dead you absolutely shouldn't do it. I assume you're talking about eating it. But speaking on modern day moralities have changed on waste, so it could be different. Exactly. Modern day moralities have changed. I would imagine that they would be more conservative with waste in the past. We have like an abundance of food. But yes, we've definitely I think we're more conscious of that globally now than before. Yeah, I agree. For not wasting, Thunder says, for not wasting food is a huge part of Xenia, and don't offer food unless it's something I can or will eat after, purely from a food waste perspective. So yeah, Blade, Thunder Thunder agrees with you, because yeah, from a food waste perspective. Okay, so oops, a ceremony to. Again, here's the ceremony. Here's the ritual. Just quickly showing it on stream. A wonderful picture of Hecate. Assistance with health. Need so much help. So the purpose of this ceremony is to enable one to receive the universal healing energy of the great physicians of the universe, Pagan, Apollon, the healer Asclepios, the much desired Hygeia, and Telesphorus, a deity worshipped alongside Hygeia and Asclepios. Isabel, also food offerings don't have to be, they don't have to be huge amount of foods. Actually, I will point this out. My offering dish for the inside is literally like this big. Like it's just a bit more than a quarter. It's a very, very small, I think it's brass or something. And don't get me wrong, I stuffed that motherfucker full. Like, I'm like, put some flowers in it and put a cookie on the bottom, sprinkle some goddamn tea leaves and like shreds of chocolate, and just like, let me top it with honey and pour a shit ton of alcohol on that fucker before I burn it. For outside ones, I do have a larger one, but I tend to put a smaller thing inside of it. It's usually like 1.5 times my inside one, I would think, maybe two times max. And I put it in like a bigger incense tiny grill thing. I don't forget. My grandmother had it. I assume it was used for worship because it looks like it should be. And it was given to me, and so now I'm using it. But it's like, it is like it's like, I don't know, it's like the size of like a small phone, but it's circular. It's like this big. And yeah, that thing's also cast iron. And so, fire safety, everyone. Not me having nearly caused a fire literally last night. Well, not a full fire. It never caught on fire, so technically I didn't start a fire. I admit to nothing. So, this part, I thought I mentioned it before. Under no circumstances should this ceremony be used as a substitute for medical science, which is the great gift that Apollon gave to humanity. The ceremony acts as a conjunctive support of science. I'm going to say it again for those in the back. This ceremony acts as a conjunctive support of science. In conjunctive support. Yeah, please go to your doctor if you're in pain or whatever. We don't like that for you. I mean, that was pretty much the big thing. Oh, actually, I like this. As we talked about it earlier, Indeed, prayer is proper, but action is also good. Yes, prayer is fine, but get off your ass and go to the fucking doctor. If you're bleeding. All right, so the next one is actually a cool one. It is the name giving ceremony, not at. I'm gonna try. Amphidromia. Amphidromia. I don't know. That might be right. Who the hell knows? I actually don't really have any notes for this one. So, but I like the info that the reasoning it has here, or rather the historical background, which this is still a thing actually. During the classical period, there was great fear of miasma and child mortality. Look, a lot of kids died back then. And miasma is the regular everyday spiritual that you get from just being around other people and life and bullshit. So, for this reason, 7 to 10 days after birth, a ceremony was held to name and accept the infant in the household. I agree. I'm kind of upset I didn't get to do this because I'm my younger brother's godmother. And I was actually there for his and my brain is dead. When they bathe you and introduce you to like the family. I can't think of it. I can't think of the fucking name. Somebody help me. But yeah, so that was when you present the child, which they tell about here. So the ceremony was held to name and accept the infant into the household. This was part of purification rites associated with childbirth. You can still do this. There's no age requirement. I actually have been to a renaming ceremony. Where the person took their like Greek name. So like there's no, you don't have to be a bebe. I mean it's made for bebe, but like there's no rules. Christening, thank you. For fuck's sakes. Yes, baptize. Yes, thank you. Yeah, they took a Greek name. They were doing that. They had gone under tutelage. And I don't know what the whole deal was. I think it was kind of like their graduating thing. They were going away for something associated with Hellenism and like, but it was also associated with their career. And so they did this naming ceremony, which was pretty cool to watch. Actually, I thought that was pretty dope. So yeah, you can do it at whatever the fucking age you want to. Remember, everything's about intent, and this is your practice. There's no like 100. There are guidelines. Okay, it's like the Pirates Code. They're really guidelines. Some things are like anything like things related to death are kind of rules. They're a little stronger, in my perception, and from what I've seen in my path, in my experience. I don't fucking know. But you do you, boo. Okay, so Labrys combined. I wanted to read this one. Sometimes the ceremony was divided into two separate rituals. The acceptance of the child into the household was strictly a family affair, while the naming was more of a social event. Yeah, so in Armenian culture, it is kind of one, as well, where that's the day, like, we gather into the church, and in that church, they had a small baptizing room. So literally, like, I mean, people packed it. It was ridiculous, but because we literally, I remember having to be like, get back, guys, like, give us some space to do the actual baptizing. And so that was a little bit more intimate, right? And then we went out and we were like, okay, this is my younger brother. Everybody, he's officially like baptized, and like the priest did a thing, and he hated all of it. My younger brother was not a fussy baby, and he hated this. He hated the outfit he had to wear. It was over the top, and he hated it so much. But it was definitely a really cool thing, and I'm glad I got to do it. Whether he stays on that path or not is up to him. I was not Hellenist I was very not Hellenist at the time. I knew nothing. Although if you probably told me that it was a thing, I would have probably converted. Yeah, that's awesome. It would be nice. That would be so cute. Okay. Wedding ceremony is next. Okay. I've actually seen a hand fasting and it was so cute, and I'm also sad that I didn't get to do one for my wedding. So marriage is one of the most important and sacred institutions in mortal lives. It marks and is the cornerstone of the foundation of a new I don't know how to say it, household, bound by traditional values, the harmonious yoking of two. This is outdated, but of two peoples falling within the domain and protection of the following gods: Zeus, Hera, Artemis, Aphrodite, Eros, Peitho, I don't know how to say that name, and the Moirae, the Fates. So the ceremony is usually officiated over by. This is an interesting one. The ceremony is officiated over by the bride and groom as well as their parents in presence of friends, family, and guests. So we think of today, usually things are officiated by the priests. This is like, no, the bride and groom are in charge. And let's be honest, in most weddings, the bride and groom are in charge. And it was, of course, a multi-day thing because the Greeks knew how to party. And now it's one day. Boo. Boo. Where's my 3-day hot flight festival? I'm gonna have a fucking rager for my divorce. Hi everyone, I'm getting divorced. I want to make sure I get to my pages here. I don't have a lot of tabs left, so I'm just looking right here for any highlights. Okay, so starts off with, let me see here. I also get very stressy about doing all the things alone because there's no one IRL. I get that, doing the stressy thing, like feeling the stress. In times where I have gone out and done things in like rituals and stuff in a public place, I definitely feel that. And moreover, it's a lot weirder when you're a single person doing it as opposed to like a group. Then you're just the weird person screaming. Yeah, it's hard to find a community. I'm actually hoping that we can figure out a way to like map out the HH community. That would be really cool. Like by for the US, I would do by state, but like I would do by country or like major province in other areas. So, privacy and all that. Like people would volunteer this information, of course, but it would be nice for us to make a map because I think that there are many of us that might be closer to each other than we think. Look, HH has over 1,500 people. There's bound to be somebody like within an hour or two from somebody else. Okay. So, with many large rituals, there's usually like a procession. So of course, after the guests have taken their places, there's the procession. And there are specific things like the groom's party is led by torchbearers. And they're just the kind of technical aspects of it here. I love that there's a beautiful little picture of it. Again, of course, we have our openings, our prayers, our offerings, our closings. Right? Genuinely, agreed. I live in California. There's gotta be more Hellenists out here. We have an entire museum, which is freaking closed. I'm so mad about it. Funeral and burial and funerary rites is not for today. That's for next week. And that's where we end the book. Now, let me see. Star. All right. The last thing we're going to do is I'm going to tell the story. When did I first find out I was Hellenist and how? I got slapped in the face with it. That's the long and short of the story. um, okay, so I literally as a teenager had a breakup conversation with God. I was just mad and I was just like, look, this isn't fucking working. I've gone to church, I've read some of the shit. My parents even sent me to a little bit of Sunday school. I remember nothing. Literally nothing. The only thing I remember is getting inspiration from the Bible for poetry. Um which I remember actually having fun with. I just pick a line and just go. So I had a whole breakup conversation many years later, college, blah 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 blah. I was in California, met all the weird people because I'm in fucking Los Angeles, of course. And I met someone who went to a druid group, but was a polytheistic pagan who primarily worshipped the Egyptian gods. um. Oh, and they were I think they were Wicca or Wiccan too. I can't remember exactly. It's been a long time. So that was the time where I was like, well, I think I'm pagan. I just don't know what. And like, I went and I hung out with like some witchy peoples, like actual Wicca or Wiccan groups, or rather, the mini group that was in the Druid group that we went to, which was actually run by the ADF, which I will probably at some point get their stuff and like actually go through their education stuff because I just think it's cool. But I just kept going, and there is a large it was split kind of three ways, the group. um there were the people who were Wicca and Wiccan, and they were kind of their own like things. There were the others that were like myself and like different other paths, and there were Druids. um and it was very interesting meeting people that were so diverse in their spiritual backgrounds. But the entire time, I just kept feeling like I just don't quite belong here. Like this is close, but no cigar. So I eventually stopped really going to that group, and like, I actually had a falling out with that friend anyway, who ended up moving away. So that wasn't the reason that I stopped going. Um, and then I was just like, I don't know where to go from here. And it was actually my husband at the time who was like, look, you love Greek shit. And I was like, that's true, I do. And he was like, do you ever think about looking that up? And I was like, are you kidding me? That's not a real religion anymore. Oh fuck. Just Googles it and goes, oh fuck. It is. What the fuck? What? This was an option? And I remember um I just the pure like just turnaround from that was just so funny. And I was actually in the house alone when I decided to Google it and look it up and like see if there was anybody actually practicing. Um and I remember I think I said Hellenism or like Hellenist, something like that. Like I actually said like the religion name. And this it's I recognize this sounds insane. It doesn't sound insane to most people, but I think it sounds insane. So I said Hellenist or whatever, and this wave of just like it was like every cell in my body just went, and like this wave of like home just washed up. Like I had arrived. I was here. And I was just like, oh, like, thanks, Thunder. And I was just like, oh, fuck, okay, I am a Hellenist. Which actually goes back to answer the previous question of like, is there like a time before you could? No. And immediately I joined a group, Hellenion. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. Um, but I got some information there, and also like looked up my own shit. And this is also a very interesting part of my practice, is that I wasn't called to like a single deity. It was just the whole thing. Aw, me starts hearing liars and the muses approaching. I fucking love the muses. I need to actually worship them more, because I'm actually both a published author and a published poet, and like I really should worship them more. And I'm like, I've always loved like music and shit, so like yeah, I really should. Yeah, and that's how I found Hellenism, and then I just jumped into it. I didn't even I did so much before I knew enough, to be honest. And part of that is that they're like, when you, I think when you become pagan, really, but definitely for Hellenism, there is so much material. It is overwhelming. And like I just remember being like, I'm just gonna vibe with the community right now, because like this reading pile is insane. And that's, throughout the process I kind of was like, okay, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to, it's fine. And I actually, when I joined, I was like I said, I was with Hellenion for a while, and they're a little more strict in their practice. I don't know if anyone has noticed. I'm not. At HH, we're very casual, because we want it to be very newbie friendly. And yes, I learned by doing as well, Thunder. So 100%. It was um I was reading for my studies earlier today that had nothing to do with Hellenism. Um and I tell you, I was falling asleep reading this fucking thing. I was like, duly note, it's about insurance, so it's not exactly riveting. But I was like, and if it's just a wall of text, it's so hard for me. I pulled out like 20 videos on insurance, and been kind of flip flopping between my texts and the insurance videos, because I need something more than just the reading. I need doing, right. I need seeing. I need multi-sensory learning experiences, which scientifically works way more to retain the information, which is why I love all the like doing all the activities within HH. For real, Isabel. Yeah, yeah. I do love the amount of info we have, but it's super overwhelming and scary. Like, it's a lot. I don't know if anyone's actually checked, but we have over 500 titles in our resource library. 500. Over 500. That's insane. And I'd like to just, the resource committee and our head librarian Jill, because like that's a fucking lot of shit that they had to comb through, and they're tagged and organized, and they have links if it's a physical product link or like a website link. If it's a book, it I think it does have a affiliate link, but I'm not sure. So that's the story, and that's the conclusion of our book club. um as I said, next time we are finishing the book, we are going from page 145 to probably not even 160, because I think 160 is the yeah, it's I think it's the, okay, there's a few blank pages in here too. Are there? Oh, there are in my book. I actually wrote in them. Oh, huzzah. I really like that when books actually include a couple of back pages for you to take notes in. We're actually going to be going to page 157. So we are going to be covering the last sections. Where's my lovely table of contents so I can read those out? Oh, here's great. Actually, this is a great example. I'm showing it on stream right now. So my name, the meanings that my parents have told me are not meanings that I have found on the internet. And so I was actually thinking of kind of not necessarily changing my name, but having an alternate meaning to my name, because yeah. And so I was looking up, and specifically looking up any, like, my middle name is May. So it is derived from Maya, right? Which is Roman. Who was a partner of Zeus, a goddess of nursing mothers, fertility, growth, spring, and earth, whose kids were Pleiades and Hermes. Her parents were Atlas and I don't know, Fleone, I don't know. And the meaning was great mother. Which, like, if you know me, you know I'm always like I'm the mom friend with no kids and the wino aunt who doesn't drink wine. Um, and of course my name Victoria, which is like victory and all that shit. So if I was going to accept a new like meaning for my name, this would be like the thing that I got from like Hellenistic stuff, which is what I actually looked up. I would probably use a naming ceremony. I would do that for something special. I don't know. Translators, notes, blah blah. Blah. Here we are. So we are going to be doing. Oh, it's only funerals. I thought there was something else. There is something else. Burial, funerary rites, as well as talking about the aspects of it, like preparation, lying in repose, burial ceremony. This is the section that you may want to think about if it's going to affect you. We're going to be talking about dead things. We're going to be talking about dead people. We're going to be talking about the concept of death within Hellenism, and we're going to be talking about my dead grandmother. So, which actually she was very Christian, but she loved HH. And you know what? I might schedule us going to we actually have a cemetery in the Minecraft server, which we will soon be opening up for like I don't want to give too much of it away, but like we're gonna be doing something with it, okay? And my grandmother and my grandfather actually have plots in the Minecraft cemetery. There's actually quite a few, and it was a whole thing, and it was wonderful and sweet and cross religious, and yeah, there's like a whole story with that we're gonna go over because it really was, I think, one of the best examples. I should start writing these down. So brilliant. Oh, thunder! I remember when I first arrived, I had a moment of what took you so long. Yeah, I had that too when I first found Hellenism. It was like, and like not long ago, I had someone who doing like a reading thing on me, and like during it, I had this like weird ass like flash in my head, where not like a flash like strobe lights, but like of an image where there were people like, and I figured out they were deities, like hand, shoulders, you know, and around, and like a bunch more that like were like gray people that I couldn't see. And I just feel like when I saw that, I was just being like, man, all these motherfuckers be waiting on me. Shit, I feel bad. And I'm like, god damn, they must have been waiting forever. But what's a few years to a god, right? So thank you, everyone. We will see you next week. Oh, just in time for a spammer or spammer bot to jump on the Twitch. Bye. Bye. Bye, Star.